Hi, I'm Kenny Anderson, Director of Multicultural Affairs for the City of Huntsville, and welcome to Impact. Each week we bring you information about exciting things that are happening right here in our community, and today I can think of little more exciting than the conversation that I'm going to have today. I recently had the opportunity to go to a big press conference just off of Pulaski Pike on Sparkman Drive, right in front of the Police Academy and next to the Bessie K. Russell Library. Now, for those that have probably been long-term residents of Huntsville, or perhaps some that have only recently become a part of our community, you know a little something about that corner of Huntsville. Well, that corner, there are big plans planned for that corner of Huntsville. And here today to talk to us about that and that big press conference that I attended just a little while ago is none other than Michelda Johnson. She is the Capital Campaign Consultant for the North Huntsville Library. Michelda, welcome back to the broadcast.
Thank you, Kenny, for having me.
It's good to have you, and I know the last time you were here, you came bearing good news about all the enthusiasm and excitement about the North Huntsville Library. We actually saw a plan and was able to take a look at the possibilities that existed should the money begin coming in and people really got behind this thing. And since we last talked, the money has been coming in. And I've been to two exciting press conferences just in the last few months. And I'm going to let you share a little bit about that so I don't steal the thunder.
Well, we have, as you said, had amazing momentum as we've moved forward with our capital campaign for the North Huntsville Library. Earlier this year, in August, in fact, Joe Newberry and the family at Redstone Federal Credit Union announced their largest donation into the community ever. They donated $2.5 million to support not only the capital campaign that we are working with for North Huntsville, but also to support the other capital campaigns that are happening in our Huntsville, Madison County area. So we have libraries that we're building in South Huntsville, in Madison, as well as in North Huntsville. And so we were so grateful for Joe Newberry and that announcement. That totally took me by surprise.
I was there that day in the atrium. It was just a big crowd out there, and it felt more like a pep rally to me than a press conference, but it was so exciting to have that announcement and to know that such a strong partner like Redstone was involved in that.
It was absolutely amazing. I met with Joe one evening.
I love this story about it.
Yeah, it just blows my mind every time I think about it. But I met with him one evening and we left that meeting. I did not ask for a specific amount, which is actually a no-no when you're out asking for money. But I did not ask for a specific amount. Joe called me or had someone contact me before 8 o'clock the next morning to say, I need to meet with you today. And so we had that meeting and he said, we would like to do $2.5 million, have it divided equally among those three capital campaigns. And so it has just been an exciting adventure in collecting the money, but more importantly, in understanding that the hearts of people within our community are really tuned in to the importance of literacy and to economic development and workforce empowerment, and understanding that the library plays such a central impact on the community as a whole. We have our theme of we are a mission, we are the patron's library. We offer free services from resume writing to computer skills development, in making sure that people understand we are a resource and a valuable resource for the community.
Yeah, that's huge, and I like the way you said that too, because this whole project is really a win-win for the Huntsville community. When you start thinking about the challenge to overturning literacy, the challenge to providing a safe environment for children to come in and families to come in, a place in the community where they can call their own. You know, I see this library as well as the others that are being built as oasis.
Yes.
An oasis to the community that almost brings back life to that community. I grew up in a home where books were valued and reading was a priority, and you know, I passed the library on the way home, and it was one of the best stops I made every day coming home from school, to come home with a stack of books that, even though we grew up in public housing, couldn't go a lot of places, didn't have a lot of money, but we could go anywhere we wanted to go simply because of that library. And I see these libraries and these projects in the same kind of way today.
I always say, imagine the power of the written word. I know we're such a technology-based society, and the library is very cutting-edge, 21st century library on the technology side. But for me, sometimes there's nothing like getting that book in your hand and exploring so many different places. That opens up windows and avenues of opportunities for our children and adults alike, that gives them the possibility that things can be different. It gives hope that there is, more sometimes for folks that feel disenfranchised. And even it's a valuable resource for our community. We check out iPads for our students and for our patrons. We have laptop computers that are available for checkout. Again, offering the free computer classes. And what we're looking for as we move forward with our 3 new libraries, we're partnering with Cyber Huntsville to provide cyber technology services. We're partnering with other organizations on entrepreneurial and incubator business spaces. We want to make this a viable part, a vibrant part of the community, so that people want to come into our library and just simply explore.
Yeah, and you hit on another theme too, I think, while we're talking about this, the technology piece, which we all value, but there's absolutely nothing like sitting with a book that's in your hand and turning the pages of that book. I mean, there's something magical about that experience, something very empowering about that experience, and no one can take the experience away from you. Everybody that touches a book has a different kind of experience, much like somebody who goes into a museum and looks at various paintings and artwork. Every experience takes you someplace different, and that's really what happens with a book. When you have that book in your hand. As much as I love my Kindle and I love having access to the technology, I love getting hard copies. And for me now, because I have a library at home, I said if I ever had a house, I want to build a library in the house. And for me, investing in books is still important. So I want the hardback version of a book.
Oh, wow.
Because I want the books to last. Whatever we feel is important, we invest in.
That's right.
And of course, paperbacks are great. I have a bunch of those too. But when I really want a book, I want the hardcover version of that book. And I just love the concept of this happening. I walk into a library, I see the tall shelves, and I think about a tower of power. And I think about being surrounded in this environment that has the capacity to generate so much learning and so much value to the community. This is extremely exciting. And of course, we recently got another huge announcement from another local icon in our community. And tell us a little something about that, because I was fortunate enough to come to that press conference as well.
So yesterday we had our press conference with First Missionary Baptist Church and First Missionary Baptist Church Foundation. Pastor Reverend Dr. Julius Scruggs, along with John Stallworth, who is chairman, Deacon John Stallworth, who is chairman of the foundation, they have partnered with us. They see the value in the library. And in fact, one of their members, Mrs. Easley, was one of our first librarians at this Bessie K. Russell branch. And so in honor of her and in partnership with the community, First Missionary Baptist Church and Foundation donated $200,000 to the project that certainly gets us a whole lot closer to our goal. My hope is that we can complete this by the end of the year.
Wow. You're moving the needle for sure. Kudos to First Missionary Baptist Church Foundation, our good friend Reverend Dr. Julius Scruggs and his wife, First Lady Josephine, that entire organization that stood up and said, we want to be counted. When the story is told 50, 100 years from now about, how did this revival take place in North Huntsville? Part of that story will be the establishment of this North Huntsville Library and the investments that people made, the very tangible ways that people went about doing this. You're moving the needle, but you still have a ways to go. So tell us a little bit about that and how people can get behind you and help, because, we've been talking. We want people to stand up and be counted.
So let me back up just a little bit. You're right. It leaves a legacy. The facility, the North, South, and Madison facilities will be titled "In Partnership with Redstone Federal Credit Union" in honor of their donation. We want to also thank the Cecil B. Ashburn Foundation for their generous donation, and other community partners that have written a check, that have called and supported, and also reached out to other members of the community to say, this is a worthy project, get on board.
Individuals that have written checks, that's right.
Absolutely.
And no amount's too small.
No amount is too small. And then the reception hall in the library, which will hold about 200 people, will be named the First Missionary Baptist Church Fellowship Hall. And so we're excited about giving those naming opportunities as well that create the legacy that 20 years from now, 30 years from now, it will be there and a part of our community. So here's where we are. The City of Huntsville and City Council has allocated $2 million toward what we believe will be a $4.5 million renovation project. And so that left our community goal of $2.5 million to renovate this space. We're going from a 1,700 square foot double wide trailer to a 20,000 square feet building, 2 stories. I'm so excited about it. The space is phenomenal, beautiful landscaping. We're looking at an outdoor cafe, an adult reading room, beautiful gardens. We've got conversations with different organizations who want to work with us on the gardens and to do different things to make it a learning garden, a learning environment, and a learning opportunity for the community. And so we have raised in 10 months $1.3 million. And to me, that is just phenomenal. It's incredible, but we still have about $1.5 million to go. We can close this gap, and we can close it quickly. I'd like to finish this by the end of the year so that we can start the renovation. The Fire and Police Training Academy, the captain there, he said, we're ready to move. We don't want to move, but we believe in your project and what the library is doing, that we are excited about the move just to make room for the library in this facility. And so everything has been laid out. We just need the rest of the funds, again, $1.5 million, so that we can finish strong in 2016, and we're prepared to start the renovation process in the first quarter of 2017.
Yeah, well, I'm going to get back to Michelda in just a minute, but this is where I get a chance to say to you, this is one of the most gratifying ways that we can present information to you on this broadcast and be able to say to you that this is a way that people can really stand up and be counted. This is a way to invest in your community. There are a lot of things that we can do, ladies and gentlemen, in order to make our community a better place to live for all of the citizens of the community. But I can't think of a better thing than a library. There's a saying that says that when an older person dies, it's like a whole library disappears. It's because of the investment that we make in that person's life over the course of time that so much is learned, so much is experienced. And that's exactly what happens with libraries. As I said, my own personal testimony, my success goes through a library. And I know that my experience is not uncommon in this sense. And so we hope that you're listening to what we're saying today. And I will co-sign with Michelda and say that we want to close this project out by the end of December 31st, 2016. We want that $1.5 million to make it happen. And we say that because we know it can happen. That's the thing about it. We know it can happen. We know that you're sitting out there right now thinking about doing something in your community, and this is a great way to get involved in it. Michelda, tell people how they can find out more about how they can make that contribution and come alongside you and maybe be a person of influence or be a champion for this cause. How can people do that?
They can visit our website, HuntsvilleLibraryFoundation.org, or hmcpl.org, so our foundation or our library website. They can reach me at mjohnson@hmcpl.org, or they can call me, 256-532-2358. You can call me on my personal cell phone,
Wow.
678-772-4940. We are here. We are available. I can sit down and talk and explain how those funds will be used. We still have naming opportunities available to be a part of the legacy that we're doing, and not just for North Huntsville. We're doing a one library capital campaign, and so just like Joe Newberry, you may decide that you want to give a large sum of money, but you want it divided up among all 3 capital campaign locations, and that's perfectly okay. We understand that, and we want partners in the community with the library. And so if that is your preference, by all means, don't let it stop you from giving me a call so that we can make those donations happen. We also, as a side note, have a 4th location that will be coming along fairly soon. We will open up the Calvary Hill branch of the library.
That is awesome.
That is very awesome. We're going to be side by side with Green Gate and Village of Promise and the Boys and Girls Club.
Yeah.
And so we're excited about our expansion in the community to feed into our citizens so that we are creating, again, opportunities from workforce development, economic empowerment, literacy, expansion. You would be surprised at the number of folks that don't have computers in their home and that don't have access to Wi-Fi.
That's
And
right.
so the services that we provide, the free services that we provide, are a necessary component for our community. So I just invite everybody to get on board.
You see why she's the capital campaign consultant. Michelda Johnson, thank you for being here today and telling us all this great information about the North Huntsville Library.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
All right. We hope that you've taken good notes today and that you'll take an opportunity to reach out to Michelda from the information that we're sharing on the screen with the website as well as a phone number so that you can get more information about how you can be a part of making North Huntsville, South Huntsville, Madison libraries greater. And we appreciate your support. We also invite you to like our Facebook page, which is Impact with Kenny Anderson, where you can see a video of the broadcast that you're watching right now. And we ask you to share that as well. It'd be a great thing for you to do so other people can hear the message. And we hope that you can also check out those behind-the-scenes shots of what happens when the camera stops rolling. For Impact, I'm Kenny Anderson. I hope you have a great day.